Hey everybody, this is Jose. We are about to start. 20 seconds to go. This is a sound check. Please, everybody, confirm that you hear my voice. And if that's the case, type a quick message on the chat box, and that way I know we'll be ready to get started. We just got 5 seconds to go. Hello, everyone. Okay. So we just reached the top of the hour. We are now live. I can see sound is good, so it's wonderful to see. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So let's begin with the session today. Welcome to the session, everyone. Today it's April 28, 2020. We are getting together today to do a little bit of intraday trading. Today is a short-term trading session. And before we start, I have a quick disclaimer to read for you. Let's do it, and we begin. Disclaimers: the following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. You should understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive on using our products. That's the introduction. I didn't say it. My name is Jose Blasco. I will be your guide. So let me guide you in this beginning part of the session as we are moving into TradeStation here. I was going to say, let me guide you into the futures, the Forex markets, all those different assets that we're going to use for intraday trading purposes, okay? So let me take a look at the chat first to make sure everybody's under control. Froilan, how are you? Paul, Boyan, good to see you. Mark, Ahmed, very nice, perfect. So hello messages, which I love to start the sessions like that. And now it's time to get serious with the trading and the various market opportunities available out there. So let's begin. Okay. So for the ones of you attending this session for the first time, if you are new to our YouTube channel, on the left, I am dealing with futures markets. Okay. So we are looking at 15-minute time frame climates. Okay. We got the auto climate app running here on the top. We got 15-minute climates for crude oil, the euro contract, the S&P future, the Nasdaq futures, the gold contract. Then we got 60-minute climates for the yen and natural gas, and 4-hour climates for lean hogs. Notice that we have an opportunity here to be planned with natural gas. The opportunity here, yellow color near sensible, it's not valid because the climate is gray color. That means it's not confirmed. Same happens with crude oil, where the climate is gray color, so not confirmed. Even though we have a golden alert, we're gonna skip it. So we're gonna start today looking at natural gas, okay? And I'm gonna do it right now. So the markets on the right, okay, which is Forex, we'll look at them later on, okay? So let's open the workspace for natural gas. Natural gas, where are you? Here we go. And in the meantime, as I turn on natural gas, as I always do, I'm going to bring you to a beautiful website called barchart.com, because in this website you can get into futures specifications, contract specifications, and when we get into energies, and more precisely natural gas. Okay, well, we got a few ads as well. Okay, here we go. So when we get into energies, okay, energy is natural gas right here. So when we do that, basically now we're going to get to confirm the right symbol to be used. This is important that you get into this habit because markets, especially commodities, they change symbol very often. Okay, so for example, the S&P futures changes symbol every 3 months, not a big deal. But markets such as natural gas, you can see the current symbol uses the letter M, and we want to ensure that M represents the greatest liquidity, which is great open interest, great volume. And when looking at the symbol, do we have the M? Yes, we do. Okay, so we have the M right there. So therefore, the M is confirmed. That's the symbol to be used. Let's see what I have on my TradeStation. Notice on my TradeStation, because of the last trade that we planned probably a long time ago, I was using the K. Okay, so I'm going to have to change this to @NGM20. okay? And now that will load for me the right chart for natural gas given where the liquidity is as we speak, okay? So let's begin analyzing the climate. We have a PD alert here, so pending data, so we need to wait. Here we go, we got it. So what the climate is telling you is that first is a thick and blue dot, okay? Thick and blue, that means it's an up climate and it's confirmed. It's been that climate has been propagating for 4 candles already, 1 hour each. So during the last 4 hours, that's the climate. And statistics suggest that this sort of a climate typically lasts, based on probabilities, 9 candles. Okay, I always round up. So 844, I'll make it 9. I'll make it 9. So 9 candles. This is candle number 4. So we can still be in this trade for, let's call it 5 hours. 4 to 9 is 5. So, around 5 hours. I mean, this is not, we don't need to be precise with that, but something like that. In other words, I am not late to the party. And if I was to enter this trade, my entry price I would want it to be aligned with the EMA, which is 1.952. Okay, 952. That is this UFO. Okay, so that UFO lines up good, ending at 49. Ending at 49. 49 is up here, so no confluence there. And here 49 is below that one. Okay, so yeah, so that would be the UFO. Okay, this would be the UFO, and therefore there is a potential entry here at 1.0955. Okay, so 1.0955, it's the top of this UFO, and if natural gas falls and get to 55, okay, we could take a long entry with a stop below, expecting natural gas to move higher. Okay, so time to go ahead and look for a target. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on AutoUFOs on the 60-minute time frame. So let me maximize this so we have a good understanding. So price is already touching that UFO, okay? So then the target would become the next UFO. And the next UFO, as you can see here, is 2.003. Okay, so for natural gas, 2.003, that is the target that we are looking for in this potential trade that we are planning. So let's go ahead and go back to here. So what do we have? Let me double check. 49. Yes. Everything is good. Yeah. So 55 is going to be the entry. Okay. So I'm going to go with 2 contracts. Okay. Of course, for you guys, if you use different account sizes, etc., calculate your size as well as decide if you want to use real capital, paper money, or all of those different things are absolutely critical. But for me, I'm just going to mechanically go for 2 contracts. This is what I always do in the session to keep it simple from an instructional point of view, if you wish. So I'm going to click on 1955. Okay. I already got quantity 2. Okay. Right there. So I'm going with 2 contracts. So 1955. Here we go. Okay. And then 48 would be my stop. Okay. So 48 would be my stop. Therefore, I am dealing with 7. So it's going to make 62 my safety target. Okay, that would be my safety target, 62. And therefore, my final target, we said, is going to be 2.003. So we have a little bit of dragging to be done. Right there, one more tick. Here we go. 2.003. I think I just placed it at 0.4. So I need to bring it down to 0.3. Here we go. So here's the trade. Okay. So entry, let's understand the trade on the chart. So you guys can work with me on that. So 1.0955, that's the entry coinciding with this particular UFO. It also coincides with that UFO too. So we got 2 UFOs in our favor. Stop goes below 49. Notice how I selected 48, which is 1 tick below. The distance between 55 and 48 is, did I do the math correctly here? Yeah, it's 7 ticks. So 55 plus 7 is 62. Okay, so that would be my safety target. And finally, 2.003 is the red UFO that we found on the 60-minute time frame below, a few minutes ago. Okay, so the trade is in. I should say the order is in. Okay, and now we are waiting for natural gas to fall by 9 ticks. Current price is 64, so we need natural gas to fall by 9 ticks, and we will be in. This trade is to be reviewed at the top of the hour because, of course, you could have a change of climate any moment. And because we're using the 60-minute time frame, we don't need to review this trade every 15 minutes. We need to review this trade every 1 hour, and the next time that's going to happen is 20 minutes from now. It's going to be the top of the hour. Okay. So I'm pretty happy to see price go back up, okay? Because if price goes back up, it's now entering the red UFO. The red UFO with sell and field orders will likely push price down. And if price comes down, now it will give us a trade while many of these orders got filled, freeing up a lot of space to the upside. Here we go. The UFO just went away, kind of reading my mind. So lots of space is now being freed up to the upside. I mean, it seems that the only thing to stop price from reaching that point is that UFO, but that UFO is happening way after our safety target. So, in other words, it's always looking good. Let's call it normal, and therefore it's time now to move into other trades so we can maximize our time together doing executions and identifying opportunities. Okay, Ahmad, how are you? K contracts, 7 contracts. You mean you're going to take the trade with 7 contracts, or you're suggesting I take the trade with 7 contracts? I'm not sure. In the room, I'm always using 2 just to keep it simple. I mean, the right way to do this, okay? The right way to do this. Let me show you. I showed you this before, okay? Normally, I just kind of skip it just to go quick, okay? But the right way to do this, okay, would be to go for natural gas. Okay, the best way to do it really to calculate sizes, trading view is so amazingly amazing. So I'm gonna pick natural gas. Well, actually, I cannot use the continuous contract to do that. It's a non-tradable symbol exactly. So I need to use the NGM20. Here we go. NGM20 2020. Okay, got it. So here's the one I need to use. So if I use this contract, okay, yeah, I need to connect. This is why normally I don't do it either, because I need to connect my my trading view to the right broker, and this would take me a little bit of a setup. So let me do this quickly, guys. 1 second. I'm just gonna put this to my other computer screen. I will do this quickly, and then I will go back to you because it's a little lengthier on my end because I am I am not in a region where TradeStation by default will work. So I need to activate a VPN to be able to make TradingView believe I am in a different physical location where TradeStation does provide service. And then it allows me to connect TradingView to TradeStation. And then it's all back to normal, but the initial login has to be done that way. And so that's why I'm moving to the other computer screen. Yeah, in the meantime, natural gas is doing its thing there. Okay, good. Okay. Here we go. So you can see now, okay, you can see now, I am now connecting to TradeStation, as you can see, okay? I didn't have TradeStation before. Now I do. Okay. So I'm just gonna go with it. Here we go. So now I am connected to TradeStation, okay? So, okay, but I do need to use the right account. So I need to use the futures account. And the moment I use the futures account, so then I will be able to use NGM 2020. And now I will be able to see the order panel on the right. A bit lengthy, all of these guys, but again, I want to show it to you so you guys don't get in trouble. Here we go. So NGM 2020, you can see TradeStation here on the right, okay, which means that I am now connected to a futures broker, real-time data for for the natural gas. And now here I can enter my trade. Okay, so we said the price was going to be to buy a 1955. We said the stop was going to be 1948. Okay, 1948. And we said the target, well, to be honest, the target doesn't really matter. I think it was what, 2003, right? Yeah, 003. Here we go. So that's the target. Okay, so now the moment I got this on my screen, okay, and now I identify how much risk I want to take. Let's say I want to take $300 of risk. So $300 of risk. Okay, so 330 in this case. So notice automatically it tells me the amount of contracts to be used. So if instead of 330 I was to go for, let's say, $500, okay, notice how it's telling me, okay, if you want to reach $500, you can do this with 4 contracts. Let's say you want to do this with $750. So now it's telling you, you know what, with that risk, you can go with 6 contracts. So again, the price points which are tricky in futures, they are taken care of by the order panel in TradingView. So, out of simplicity in the sessions, I always use 2 contracts because all of you will need to calculate what is the right size for you to use. Okay. But certainly that would be the way to do it. Okay. 7 points. Got it. Alan, how are you, Alan? Was there another trade earlier? I got in late. No, we just started. Yeah, very good. Perfect. Cool. Okay. So let's see if natural gas will come to our entry. Again, we still got 15 minutes to go in that one. Do we have anything new? Oh, yes. Well, actually, no, we don't. So we have crude oil flashing an alert, but still gray color. So we're not going to take it. And the euro contract and the S&P are flashing an alert, but notice how we have the word hopeful, and therefore we pass. Okay, so in the futures markets as of now, okay, we are still utilizing natural gas. This is our best opportunity at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the natural gas chart alone, waiting for price to come to us during the next 13 minutes until the top of the hour, because at the top of the hour we're going to have to review the trade. And while we're waiting for this to happen, I will then move into the other set of timeframes looking for other opportunities. And I will start with the euro in a 60-minute time frame that seems to give me a near sensible alert with a colored climate, meaning the climate is confirmed. So let's go for it. Okay, so let's move into EUR USD. Okay, Forex. No trust station. So we will use, if you notice, okay, I did it very quick, but you can check mark or uncheck TradeStation, depending if you want to use TradeStation data or not. For Forex, I don't. So EUR USD. So I did uncheck TradeStation, and now I am utilizing the Euro US dollar from FXCM in this case. Okay, so what do we have? Well, again, I was looking at 60-minute climates. Okay, so we're going to have to start looking at the 60-minute chart here. So 60 is right there. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I did put my mouse in the wrong place, so I was kind of covering. Oh, I did it again. I was kind of covering the climate. Okay, now I can see it. So thick and red dot, that means the climate is confirmed. We are dealing with a climate which has been traveling or expanding for 2 candles, and where statistics suggest is going to be 5 hours, 5 candles 1 hour each. So in other words, we can take on a short and maybe we can ride it for 3 hours down. So looking good. Our reference price is going to be 0849. That's our reference price. And the key, looking at the 8-minute time from above, is, let's turn on AutoUFOs. The key will be, do we have UFOs enveloping 0849? That's the question. And the answer is yes, we do. Okay, now we do have a problem, which let me tell you already that we're not going to take this trade, but we do have a UFO perfectly located at 49, and if we have this opportunity on the futures markets, probably we can take it, but on the spot forex we cannot, because if you look at 58 being your reference price for the stop, and then because of the decentralized nature of forex, you add 5 pips plus 2 for the beta spread. So basically, you are moving your stop inside the next UFO, and we cannot have a stop inside the UFO. Stops have to be in the white space. So in euro, we have a collection of UFOs overlapping each other. So basically, that means that if my entry is 49, my stop needs to be all the way above 85, and that would be okay for me if I'm dealing with a 4-hour time frame or a daily time frame trade. But if I'm dealing with a 60-minute climate trade, which is a quick in and out during the day, so certainly such level of risk, meaning the distance between entry and stop, which is so wide, such a vertical distance, isn't it? So then that's not going to work, and therefore I will pass on the euro trade, even though technically it's looking okay. But again, it's to be exploited on the euro futures, maybe yes, but not on the euro spot in this case. Okay. Quick look at natural gas to see if there is any news. No, nothing new. A new red UFO form. Price is reacting to it now, so hopefully that one will be the one bringing price down to our entry. Okay, so come on UFO, push it down, and we will get a feel. We still got 10 minutes until the top of the hour, so we leave this trade alone for 10 minutes. How is it going, everybody? Any feedback, any comment? Anyone has anything to ask, anything to say? Let me know if that's the case. In the meantime, back to our radar screen, looking for more opportunities. So on the futures markets, nothing new. On the spot forex 60-minute time frame, the euro was the only one because the other ones got gray climates, so we skip that. But also using the 4-hour time frame, we also have the euro US dollar. Okay, it's funny, I just said in the 4-hour time frame maybe yes, and guess what, it's there, suggesting that we go take a look. Okay, so let's go take a look. Even though it's going to be a different climate on the 4-hour time frame, it's an up climate. Okay, so we may end up trading in the opposite direction. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Okay, let's see what we've got. So let's begin with the climate. So climate for the euro on the 240-minute time frame. So the climate is up. Okay, thick dot, blue color, 2 out of 5. Okay, so this means that we can enter the trade now and potentially, based on probabilities, write a move to the upside of 3 candles, 4 hours each. That's okay. That's 12 hours. Okay, so it's a nice trade. So reference point for us to buy is 108.38. Okay, that's the reference point, which is very close to the current price. Okay, it's actually right there. Okay, so let's turn now to UFOs to see if we do have an opportunity or not. We don't have any UFO. So the nearest UFO we have is located at 17, which is way lower than 39, which is our reference. So before I give up on the trade, I'm going to check the 21 range time frame, because the 21 range time frame may provide me with a UFO I need. Let's see. I got 35 to 33. 35 to 33. Current price is 43. It's almost there, but it's not there. It's almost there, but it's not there, because 43 to 40, it's only 3 pips, and really 40 is right there, and there is no UFO there. So that UFO almost made it, but if I was to take the trade, I would be making it up, which is something that as traders we don't do, unless you want to get in trouble. So I'm just going to skip the euro and go for the next one. Quick look at natural gas. So yeah, it seems that price is coming down a little bit from that UFO, very slowly though. It'd be nice to see a little bit more action there. In the meantime, looking at other opportunities, we have here, using the majors, using a daily climate. Okay, we have a confirmed climate blue color near sensible, so that is a valid opportunity. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at the pound US dollar. And by the way, I have a trade here from earlier, which I believe probably the orders are still on the screen. Okay, yeah, well, the orders are not on the screen because I connected to TradeStation. Okay, but if I was to connect to the paper trading account of TradingView, you would see the orders there. Okay, so let me do it. Let me do it because I'm gonna need that to calculate the size and everything else. So see brokers list. Let's go for paper trading. Here we go. Okay, and now that I move to the paper trading account, notice how the orders are there. Okay, so you can see that I am executing a trade out of this UFO, okay, with a pound. Okay, but I would like to pretend I never did that. So I'm just gonna cancel the whole thing and I'm gonna re-explain it to you. Okay, I mean, this trade I know already is valid because I checked earlier. Okay, so but I'm gonna start from the beginning like I never did it. Okay, so that way you understand all the steps and the rationale behind everything. So let's begin. Here's the euro in a daily time frame, giving us a thick blue dot confirmed climate candle number one, where statistics suggest should be 5 days. Okay, 5 candles, 1 day each, that's 5 days. So in other words, if price comes a little closer to the black line, which is the EMA, which is 124.02, okay, price should move up based on the climate, UFOs, EMA, everything else. So there are odds in our favor for a move to the upside. Okay, so what do we want? Well, we need to find UFOs lining up with 124.02. Okay, and you may say, wait a minute, O3, okay, O3 is below 2, and you're right, O3 is below 2, but if you move to the 55 range time frame, which is what I did before, before this session started, I meant. So what I did is that I found that there were those UFOs, okay, very close by, okay, and I'm being a bit generous here. I'm being a bit generous because, and you should be generous in these cases because you are dealing with a day climate, okay, and we are trying to find an entry on the 45 range time frame, which is kind of like an X-ray of the minute time frame, okay. And in other words, if you like, for example, here you can see from O4, okay, if I add my normal breathing space, okay, that is 5 pips, okay, and that will bring stop to be 123.99, which is somewhere there, which is between those two UFOs, okay, between that one and between that one, okay. This is what you would normally see, but at the same time, we all need to realize and understand that the distance between O9 and O4 is only 5 pips, and we are dealing with a daily climate trade, which potentially we're going to make a few hundred pips, and it would not be reasonable or realistic to risk 5 pips or 10 in order to make hundreds. I mean, if you tell me that we're going to do that in the futures markets where we can be more precise because it's a centralized product, then I'll take it. But in the spot Forex markets and using range timeframes, which is a kind of like one way to do an X-ray, which is not as precise as the volume or the tick time frames in futures. So certainly, I always make myself to be quite generous when it comes to understanding overlapping UFOs. Okay, and in this case, I am considering all this set of UFOs to be one fat UFO because of what I just said. Okay, and therefore that's gonna be my entry point. I want 124.09. Okay, so 124.09, which really is 10, and then it's not 10, it's 12 because you need to add 2 because it's a buy order. Okay, and my stop is gonna be 123.63, correct? It's 63, but then I need to add 5 pips, and that's gonna make it 58. Okay, so now I'm dealing with a trade which has 54 pips of risk, which again, for a trade where I will probably attempt to catch a few hundred pips in a 2-3 day trade, well, that's normally well justified. Okay, now notice I said normally. For me to know if it's justified or not, I need to find where my target will be, And we do that by activating AutoUFO on the common time frame, which is daily. And that tells me that 128.04, okay, so 128.04, this is where the target should be. And if you look at the amount of pips I'm going to make, if I'm right, is 392. The amount of pips I'm going to lose if I'm wrong is 54. That's a 7 to 1, which on paper is nice. We talked about what do I mean when I say things like that. We talked about the fact that the further away the target is, the less likely you will reach such target. Okay, so we talked about that. So let's not be that optimistic. Let's be ready to manage the trade. If there is a change of climate, etc., etc., let's be ready to close the trade. We run 3-4 weeks ago in the YouTube channel. We run a sharpening lesson on setting targets. I recommend everybody to watch it if you haven't, because two things may happen here. It goes straight up and reaches your target in less than 5 days, which is what statistics suggest. Then congratulations. Or the other thing that could happen, okay, is that this now moves, and it's boring and boring and boring like that. And now you spend 5 days already, but you didn't reach the target. So what's likely to happen to the climate? The climate may change from blue to red. So before that happens, we talked about another way to set the target, to modify the target, and maybe you exit at this price point. And yes, fair enough, you didn't reach your final target, but you still made a nice profit, maybe 200 pips instead of 400. So you would probably be happy if that was the outcome of the trade. Okay, so be realistic. That's the bottom line. 7 to 1 looks good on paper. Sounds to me like it's a bit too much. Okay, so I just hit the wrong keyboard key combination. So let's write it down for you so you can take a note. So the final target in this trade is 128.04. We're gonna have a safety target which I need to calculate. Okay, we're gonna have a long entry located at 124.12. Okay, and we're gonna have a stop loss which is located at 123.58. Okay, so now the distance between 12 and 58 is 54 pips. So we're gonna add the same 54 pips above for the safety target, and that will make our safety targets be 124. How much I said? 54 pips. So that's gonna be 66. Okay, so the safety target will be 124.66, and above that you are out of risk until you get to your 128, if that is the case, or somewhere in between, based on your trade management for this particular trade. So I'll leave this on the screen so you can take a screenshot or a note. When Jose, is there a way to connect both Oanda and TradeStation in TradingView? If you mean at the same time, no, but you can just keep switch back and forth from one to the other one. Oh, gold contract, it's giving us a trade, and natural gas also got us a fill. Okay, perfect. So let's move into those other trades. I think it's perfect time. So let's go take a look at the natural gas first. Okay, so we are filled, very good. Let me zoom in the time-based time frame, because we are dealing with, we just entered the trade. Okay, so this is candle number one. Remember, we use a time stop, 3 candles. Okay, so this is the closing time for this candle is 08. 08 and 08 is going to be 16, and 16 is going to be 24. Okay, so 12:24, if we did not reach our safety target before 12:24 New York time, then our job is to close the trade manually. Okay, that's the job. That's our job if we use time targets, which I do. And therefore, that's what I'm explaining. Some of you may have different rules, and certainly that's fine. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to take a look at, we have the yen. We also have the gold. So I'll go for gold first. Okay. So open. We look at gold. So while we are opening gold, I will go back to bar chart. I want to check the right symbol for gold. Metals. Hey, come on. Okay, gold. Okay, so why these loads? Let me see what's going on with natural gas. Yeah, so there's a fight there. Not a very good news that the UFO is gone. Not a very good news that the reactive timeframes on the bottom right are not showing any green UFO either. That's not a very good news. But again, we got the climate in our favor and everything else. We had an update, by the way, because we reached the top of the hour. So now it's candle number 5 out of 9. So it's still okay. 1.952, it's basically where price is now, and therefore our entry was valid. Okay, so all is good in this trade, and if you are in, you just need to be ready to do your trade management here, okay, because the trade has been valid. If you are not in, do not enter any longer because the UFO is gone, so you would be breaking the rules. Okay, so gold contract, what do we have? It should be using the M. Is that the case? Yes, M is the highest liquidity, so we're going to be using at GCM, which is the one we have from the prior day. Very good. So climate for gold is 3. Okay, so 3 out of 4. So we still got maybe a quick trade here with gold. Reference price is 18.6. This UFO certainly meets that rule. This UFO meets the rule. This UFO meets that rule. Okay, so the highest price point here is what? 720 something. Okay, highest price point here. 19 something. Highest price point here. 720 something. Okay, so 720 something is going to be the entry, and then 18.1, 18.1, and 18.1 is the same for all of it. So if I do my stop 18.0, and the top of that one is 17.7. Guys, I need to clear my throat. Just 1 second, please. Sorry for that. So yeah, so that UFO is certainly valid. Okay, so looking for a target on gold. Okay, so looking for a target on gold. Natural gas moving a bit against us. Nothing new at the moment. So we have the stop in place, so that's good. So target for gold would be that red UFO there. Okay, so gold contract, and that would be 1734.5. That would be the target. That's quite far. Okay, quite far. So anyone would like to type on the chat box when I say that, what do I mean? 1720.3 is the top. 17.0.3 is the top. Okay, so yeah, so 0.3, 1720.3 is the entry with a stop at 18. It's a pretty wide risk, okay, guys? Okay, so if your account is not too large, this is not a trade you will be able to execute. Okay, so moving the stop to 18. Okay, so 18, that's 10.3 points. Sorry, 2.3 points exactly. So 2.3, that's going to be, that will be 22.6. That's going to be the safety target. I will explain all of this on the chart in a minute. And then the final target we said was going to be 34.5, which is 10 points higher. That's, if we get there, it's going to be a very powerful trade. But again, let me see if you guys wrote anything on the chat box concerning what I mean when I say that's very far when we talk about intraday trading. Okay. Yeah, to be honest, these trades are way better to enter with the order bar. Sometimes I want to be very visual so you guys see well the actions I'm taking. but really it's not convenient to drag price like that when you have to drag so much. Okay, let's drag a bit more. Come on, PlayStation. So 34.5, that's where I'm going. 5 more ticks. Here we go. 5 more ticks is right there. So, okay, quick look at the natural gas trade first of all, in case there is something I need to say. Oh, we got stopped out. Okay, so there is not much I need to say. So I'll come back to review this in a minute. Okay, so the gold trade. Okay, so this trade has, as I said, a pretty important risk attached to it. Okay, so it's either you don't take it or you take the trade with paper money. An alternative solution, even though you lack a bit liquidity, if you do it, is to use the micro e mini contracts for gold. Those are less liquid, but the price points are much lesser, and then you may be able now to take the trade. Okay, so take a look at that for yourself and decide what's best for you in that sense. Okay, um, because if you use the regular contracts, it's pretty important distance. Okay, but anyway, so we have the trade. Let's look at the setup first. Okay, so notice how we are around that UFO, lining up with that UFO, stop on the white space, lining up with that UFO, stop on the white space, everything is good. Same distance for safety target that we have with entry and stop, and then final target all the way 1.734.5. Okay, so that's the trade. Okay, so 20.3, 720.3 is the entry, 718 is the stop, 722.6 is the safety target, 734.5 is the final target. Okay, so if you want to take a screenshot, this could be your time. And then I want to go back to the gold trade, sorry, to the natural gas trade, and take a look at what happened there, and try to understand if we did something right, something wrong, and comment on it, and then move into the next one. Mark, you won't get there. I think you were referring to natural gas. You were right, if that's the case. Boyan, might trail us out, might not reach it today. Exactly. Oh, it won't get there. You mean, yeah, the target. Exactly. I get you now, Mark. Yes, yes. Sometimes I'm very intense, right, when it comes to that concept where when a target is so far away, you're doing intraday trading, and now the target is too far away and it's going to take more than one day to get there. So first, it's not likely it's going to get there in one day, but second, if you hold it for the next day, which maybe you only have, depending on the markets, you only have 1 hour close or whatever, but you do have a different margin implications in your account. You may get a margin call, or you may have a gap against you. So again, it's important that you keep all of this in mind. And when the final target is too far away, let's be realistic, okay? And for sure, before the market closes, come back and close the trade and be done with it. Okay, use micro gold. You can enter on the nucleus to reduce the risk. Yes, absolutely. Here we go. Perfect. Great. Okay, so this is the gold trade. Okay, nothing to say about the gold trade. 2 minutes to go. Okay, 2 minutes to go. And the next candle will be number 4. And that will be 4 of 4. Okay, so basically this trade is valid during the next 17 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes plus 2, which is what's left of the current candle, because it's currently 12:13 in New York. So we got 2 minutes to go plus another 15. Okay. Now, of course, the EMA may move a little bit, so I need to come back and double check this. Before I do that, natural gas. So what just happened here? Okay. So what happened in natural gas, and unfortunately it's not on the screen any longer, even though some of you may have seen it. What happened in natural gas is that a minute ago, we've been stopped out, but we've been stopped out with a red UFO that was located in this place in the chart. Okay, I believe that some of you may have seen it. Not sure all of you have seen it, depending on which chart you were looking at it. But we got red UFOs there earlier. And what does that mean? Well, that basically means that probably this climate is about to change. So this is one of the cases. I mean, it's never a nice feel, if you wish, to be stopped out, even though it's part of the game, and it's so what, you were risking the amount of money you wanted to raise. You had this pre-calculated ahead of the time, so not a big deal. So it's, we don't want to whine too much about losing trades, because thanks to losing trades we get winning trades, so thank you. But at the same time, there are times where taking a losing trade is a bit painful, and there are times where taking a losing trade is kind of like, oh yes, thank God, right? And it's always thank God, but there are times where thank God is more obvious than not, which is this case. The fact that we got red UFOs there a few minutes ago means that the climate is likely to change. We'll see that later. Okay, we'll see that later. But the climate is likely to change, or potentially is going to change. Okay, and when that's the case, look at that, another red UFO just formed here. Okay, another there. So all of this is the sign of potentially a new climate to begin fresh in the complete opposite direction. Okay, and in this sense, it's great to be out, because you certainly don't want to be stuck in a trade hoping it's going to come back. Instead, whenever we got an indication that we can now go ahead and short, which is going to take another 45 minutes, because on natural gas is a 60-minute climate, isn't it? So we will not do it together. Okay, you may do that on your own, but 45 minutes from now, you'll be able to begin planning trades to short natural gas, and you'll be happy to be out of the long, even though, of course, you'd be happier if it was a profit. Okay, but this is one of those satisfactory moments where you really feel like, oh, wow, I did very well doing what I've done. Okay, so anyway, gold keeps doing its thing. Coming back to the list of opportunities, what else do we have? Nothing else. We got crude oil, but it's gray color. Okay, so gray color means not confirmed. So nothing else there. So we have the order in for the gold trade, and we will stick with it for one more candle. On the Forex side, we did the trade on the pound. There is also an alert here for the Kiwi, the New Zealand dollar, but it's gray color. So this one would not be a go for us. So I'm going to move then into the miners. Okay. And wow, interestingly enough, we don't have much to do here, because we do have an alert. Okay. But it's hopeful on the 240-minute time frames. And when I look at the dailies, okay, when I look at the dailies here in the bottom part, I have two which are near sensible, okay, but the climate is gray, okay, and the ones below, they are hopeful. So in other words, I got nothing to trade in the Forex as of now. All of these may change any moment, but as of now, I don't have anything to trade. The only one was the pound, which we already planned before we were looking at the gold trade. Okay, so then for now, our job is to go back to the gold trade to see if we're gonna get filled or not. We just got filled. Here we go. Perfect timing. So now what should happen is that the climate shows itself. Those green UFOs start doing what they are supposed to do, which is orders start getting filled and start pushing price in the opposite direction. And if that's the case, we will see a little bit of golden color on the P&L, which we started. Great. That's nothing really for now. But what's going to happen, and that would be way nicer to see, more than the P&L, is to start seeing on the reactive time frames green UFOs. Okay, that would be much better. Okay, so let's see if that's going to be the case. Okay, and then that means that we'll be set for a proper trade. In the meantime, we have the normal fight that takes place when we initiate a trade, where there is this initial absorption of buyers and sellers to see who is going to win. Okay, and I'm zooming in as well. Sorry, guys. I am zooming in as well on the 2-minute time frame, as you can see, so we can get more detail to apply our time stop. So the candle in which we entered was this candle here, ending at 12:18. That candle already closed. We are now trading on the next candle that will be closing in 1 minute, okay, at 12:20. Okay, and therefore the next candle will be candle number 3 that will close at 12:22. Okay, that candle, okay, is the candle where if we have not reached our safety target, this is where we need to close the trade manually with that time stop. Okay, so 12:22. Okay, it's on our radar. We basically got 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go. It's either in 3 minutes and 15 seconds we get to this $460 mark, and that's gonna be great. And if not, we're gonna close this trade manually for either a small profit or maybe a little bit of a loss, or maybe a full loss if price just collapses and hits our stop. This could certainly happen. Okay, so let's see what's gonna happen. And let me go back to see no new opportunities. So I guess we're gonna stick with this trade to see the end result. Okay, very strong push, which is nice to see. At the same time, no green UFOs. Okay, no green UFOs. So that may not be that sustainable. Okay, that may not be that sustainable. Uh, Good news is that those UFOs are still in place. Okay, so if price comes back down, it is likely going to go back up. Okay, but the fact that no green UFOs showed up here, it's a little bit of a concern for the sustainability. Okay, we are 2 ticks away from that safety target. So I mean, yeah, we just reached the safety target, and now we got the green UFOs show up. Now I am much happier, not only because the risk of the trade is gone, and we don't need to use the time stop. On top of that, now we got, I mean, if I use the word guarantee, we cannot use the word guarantee. This is trading, but we got more guarantees, if you wish, just using a generic word of the English language. We got more guarantees now that this trade will continue progressing in that direction, that the climate will continue expanding for a bit more, because the place where we thought on-field orders would be is proving to be a place where on-field orders are being added. Okay, so there is still intense willingness for buyers to add buy orders, and this is how the market will continue moving in our direction. We need more people to buy after we bought, or more people to sell after we sold, for a trade to work well, isn't it? Okay, so let me make a few more comments. Let's take a look at comments first. Waiting for a lower entry on the gold. I get you, Mark. Your entry was lower as well. Get you, Boyan. Yeah, I mean the UFO is still there. Okay, so it's still valid for you to execute that lower entry trade, because the UFOs are still there on the edge time frame. So that's fine. The challenge now, of course, is the psychological challenge that you see the move happen and you are not on board, and many times it creates a little bit of that. I don't know how to define it, but kind of like that, down feel, where it's like, oh, I missed it kind of feel, and or lose confidence. Now, if it comes down, it comes down, what's going to happen, right? So that kind of feel is quite natural. Okay, but at the same time, just keep in mind that the UFOs are still on the chart. So if price comes down, it's still time to take the trade. So let's pretend that you just sat in front of your computer, you turn on the machine and you see these. So it's time to put a trade in place. Okay, so don't allow our human psychology to control you in that sense. Let's be mechanical. Okay, and let's have a very, very robust and solid mindset. And when it's a yes, it's a yes, and if it's a no, it's a no. That's it. Okay, this is trading. So a few more comments here. We're 7 minutes away from the end of the session too, so we got little time left. Okay, but basically, so what I would like to see. Okay, so let me show you a few things that could happen, so you know how to manage. So what I would love to see is, I would love to see something like that: a UFO forms, price continues, price continues. Okay, so why would I love that to happen? Because now I could take my stop, which is currently located at 18, and I could move it down below that UFO. Okay, and now I am in a position of strength where, I mean, I cannot lose money any longer. But now, if I was to be stopped out, is a sure thing profit, right? So that would be a great thing to happen. Unfortunately, I see a lot of movement, but it's quite vertical. There is no stopping on UFOs. Okay, and that's problematic because that makes it less sustainable. Okay, that makes it less sustainable. So be also ready to act on your rule. 230, okay, that's where the 22.6, okay, that's where we collected our safety target, isn't it? Let me see that. 22, yes, 22.6. Okay, you can see here, buy at 23, sell 22.6. Okay, so 22.6, okay, that's where we collected our safety target. Okay, so if we get there again, which is 230, okay, and you take 230 and you double it in your head, okay, so 230 and 230. I just went too far. Just 1 second, guys. Here we go. So 230 and 230 is going to be 460. Okay, so here is 460. Okay, so if price keeps pushing and gets to 460, your stop, which is currently located at 18, would need to be moved to 20 to 6. So in other words, 20 to 6 is your 1 to 1, 230. If you get to 2 to 1, which is 460, you then move your stop to your 1 to 1, unless UFOs form on the screen, and then the UFOs, are more powerful than anything else, and you would want to move your stop below them. Okay, but again, I'm not seeing any UFO forming, not only on the 2-minute time frame, which takes a few minutes to form, but also on the volume and the share time frame, on the volume and the tick time frame. I'm not seeing any UFO forming. And again, this is where the concern kicks in when it comes to, is this going to be sustainable? Okay, so we just need to wait and see, and let the climate do its thing. Okay, let the climate do its thing. Okay, we have 4 minutes to go. Okay, for this climate to update. Okay, at 12:30 New York time. Okay, so if we get to 12:30, and that's gonna be candle 5 out of 4. Okay, which means that now we have surpassed the climate timing. Okay, so if let's say is now, then I would move my target to this UFO, and this is where I would take my exit. Okay, to not to miss my exit, because the climate is it's too extended and it may not be sustainable. Okay, but we are not there yet. We still need to wait another 4 minutes for this decision to be taken. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait. Okay. Yeah. So back to this. Yeah, nothing new created. Okay, so only one tiny UFO here on the edge time frame. So uh, little trading happening at this moment in time. Few transactions only. So not much is happening on gold. Good news, we're out of risk. But that's about it. So what else? The yen is giving us setup. Okay. So do we have time to plan a trade on the yen? No, not really. We don't have time. So I will leave you the homework of looking at the yen trade, which may be an opportunity. I will load the workspace very quickly. Okay. I mean, good timing that we're having the gold trade on, because it's not often that we reach the end of a climate during the session. So that way you'll be able to see what my action is when that happens. Okay. So we got JYM20, that's fine. Climate is 1 out of 4, that's perfect. 93.65, 93.65 is the current price, and there is no green UFO. So there is no trade on the yen. There is no trade on the yen. Okay, so nothing to worry about in that sense. Okay, so we got 1 minute and 44 seconds. Okay, so yeah, so my friends, this is the action. Okay, the action to be taken here is gonna be, I got one minute something to do it, so I'm gonna do it now, so you see how I do it. So the bottom part of this UFO is 17233. Okay, so 23.3 is the bottom part. Okay, 23.3. So what I'm gonna do is move. Hello, chart trading. Okay, now. So I'm just gonna move my final target to 23.3. Okay, I'm not gonna do it the matrix because it would be too much dragging. Okay, but I could do it from here easily. So 23.3. Here we go. Okay, not sure why it's not moving it. 23.3. Okay, now. Okay, good. So let me cancel chart trading. Okay, and basically now, as you can see, so my final target is located right below or under that UFO. Okay, and we just had, yes, we just had an update on the climate. So the climate is now, as I was anticipating, 5 out of 4, and that's why I have changed my final target to be closer. Okay, closer. And of course, it's not nice to see how the PNL was almost 300 and now it's back to $30. Okay, it's not nice to see, but remember, you are in a trade which is free of risk, and you still have the UFOs, and beyond everything, we follow rules, guys. Okay, so don't fall into any emotional trap about it. This is the right action to be taken. And because the climate is reaching its end, I just pushed my final target to a closer location. So hopefully I can reach that final target before the climate finally changes. Okay. So price came to the UFO, is bouncing again. So hopefully we have a push. And if we have a push, we'll get to this final target, which is now located at 1723.3, which is much closer than before. Remember, I was not counting on reaching that final target anyway earlier. Remember when I said so, right? So anyway, but we reached the ending time of the session. So I think I will leave you to complete this trade. I think the instructions have been given, so you know what to do. Guys, any question, comment? Anyone is confused? Anyone has a final question before we complete the session? How is it going so far? I'll just wait a few seconds to get your answers, and then we'll complete the session, guys. Froilan, thank you, Jose. Thank you, my friend. Let me see. Ahmed, thanks. Very useful. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, wonderful. Hey, my friends, I feel bad not completing this trade altogether, but I think it's pretty clear. It's either we reach 300 or we reach the stop. That's what it is, because really no new UFO has formed, so there is nothing else to do but wait. Good news, we cannot lose. So I think that what's likely to happen is to reach that final target now and collect another $300. So this trade will end up with $500 to $600 profit, and that would be the end of the story. Okay. Anyway, see you all on Thursday. You guys take care. Super pleasure to be part of the session as always, guys. It's always a lot of fun for me, and I really love it. So thanks for joining me in this fun time, and I will see you on Thursday for a little bit more fun. Take care, everybody.